The story begins in a world where an alien invasion has turned everything upside down. Everywhere has become a battleground. Here, strength was everything, and anyone weak was considered useless, a burden, and a joke. Like everyone else, the MC had to undergo her professional awakening. But when her rank was revealed to be a weak 1-star, the reaction was brutal. People laughed and called her a disgrace. But no one could have predicted what lay ahead. Her true power would later awaken far beyond everyone's expectations. Her ability. It wasn't strong, but terrifying. The system calls them dark forbidden spells, the very mention of which sends shivers down one's spine. Others consider them curses. But for him, it was an opportunity. At that very moment, he decides he will rule over everyone else. At Superpower Academy, 18-year-old Ningfang is engrossed in his mobile game when a sharp slap pulls him back to reality. The culprit is Wang Yui, the Academy's untouchable goddess. Beautiful, rich, talented, and furious at the moment. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. The awakening exam was about to begin. And our boy is playing games like his future depends on it. He doesn't care. He knows he'll have a weak profession awakening. Unlike Yue, who achieved 5-star adventurer awakening at 16. He thinks he'll just ride his success and live life to the fullest. But Yue sees through his ruse. She pulls him off and chokes him. The onlookers gossip. Yue is a rare genius and the hero school's disappointment. But this dynamic makes sense since they've been friends since childhood. Now, let's talk about Blue Star. Reality and games have merged. At 16, everyone gets a chance to awaken an ability and become an adventurer. And if they fail, their life is over. MC is aware of this, as this is his 3rd exam attempt. The others are excited, discussing their dream professions. But he's just waiting for it all to end. His turn comes. Whispers spread through the crowd. Instructor Chewy gives him an encouraging nod, and he places his hand on the awakening crystal. Seconds later, a blue light flashes. Magic profession, a sign of awakening. But the result is a 1-star adventurer and a lame skill. Teacher Kai is sad for him. But the other students start mocking him. But our boy is not sad, but confused. Because with awakening, the system grants 2 abilities. First, he can use dark powers without consequences. Second, he can cast 1 forbidden spell a week, and his lame skill also gets upgraded to something terrifying. He doesn't understand why the system is treating him like the final boss of a horror game, just trying to avoid dying in the practical test. He hopes so. The test is simple. Candidates enter the arena and hone their skills by battling monsters. They attack each other, while drones monitor. The others charge, but our hero hides in the bushes. He possesses only shady forbidden magic, and he knows it won't be good if anyone discovers it. In the monitoring room, the captain, who sees him inactive, asks why he's here. Chewie defends him, explaining his late awakening, poor health, and bad luck. But 1 star for anyone who doesn't believe it. The adventurer is useless and wants to expel him. But before that happens, something strange happens. His drone goes offline, and the system detects a massive search in the arena. Chu assumes a high-level monster has arrived and orders an investigation. In the forest, a boy is surrounded by goblins, and their chief orders a massacre. The remaining drones are destroyed. Our hero, hiding, realizes he can test the forbidden spell without the drones. The results are dramatic. As soon as the spell is activated, the monitoring room goes black. He leaves. Alarms go off. Higher-ups panic. Joe thinks some high-level dark entity has arrived and orders an evacuation. The hero sees his spell unfold. Dark energy surges, becoming a terrifying force that crushes everything. The goblins are annihilated. The chief, seeing him, makes an expression as if he were to witness the apocalypse, and then meets the same end. The system gives him experience. He looks at the status window. His level has gone straight to 10, which never happened in the test. He thinks most of the XP is from elite monsters. It came from. But the question is, Why was the elite monster in the secret realm? He thinks. But then he spots the loot, a pioneer emblem that permanently boosts agility and a hook claw, both orange-grade rare and expensive. Selling the claw could make him rich, and he starts daydreaming about rolling in money. But an announcement calls the candidates back. Just then, dark forces surround him and traps are sprung. He quickly activates a teleportation scroll and escapes. Once the regrouping is complete, Captain Joe orders everyone to return to the city. Rightfully so. Even together, they can't fight the entity on the rail. While waiting for reinforcements, the dark energy suddenly vanishes, and the monsters can't get off the rail. Shuai realizes the matter is above his pay grade and sets out to report it. Our hero wants to ask, but she tells him to leave. On the way, he gets some answers from Manhua Ui. The academy has been closed due to a mysterious dark power. He wonders if the force was from an elite monster or something else. Yu interprets her expression as trauma and reasserts that her defensive spells are bad for solo combat. That's why she will be in his group. Hero Concern appreciates but refuses because he can't perform forbidden magic. But Yue doesn't give him a choice, just tells him the time and location and leaves. Now he is thinking of an excuse to escape training, which is more difficult than fighting that elite monster. He comes up with a plan which is not sure whether it will fail or work. MC goes to the trading center with a simple plan. Buy some equipment, show off skills, and the system will not convert it into a world-ending spell. While browsing, a woman suggests high-end equipment. But he doesn't want a long-term investment. When she realizes he's not rich, she pushes him aside and calls for a new guide. Young Shin arrives. She takes him to the equipment section. He looks at the items. Some look like they could consume him. After a lot of searching, he selects a ring. Shin then takes him to Master Wang. MC Claw, a sales expert, gives an evaluation. Wang inspects it and calls the buyer. After a while, Wang tells, the deal is done. After the transaction fee, our hero will leave with about 500 crystal coins. They complete some paperwork, and our hero thinks he can buy more while he's here. Meanwhile, the woman who ignored him earlier is busy gossiping with her coworkers. She passionately describes her preferences: wealthy, powerful, and good-looking. But then she sees MC talking to Wang and is shocked to see that this nobody made more money in one trade than she earned in several months' worth of commissions. The regret on his face is clear, and he's truly dejected. The next morning, our hero practices his new skills. He tested them the night before, and thankfully, the system hasn't converted them into any dark catastrophe. This means he can use them without triggering an apocalypse. Feeling better, he greets Yua, who introduces him to her guild members: a mage, a sound warrior, a raging buzzer, and a priest. It doesn't take a genius to understand that mage, Xiao Cheng, and the sound warrior don't like him. Cheng especially hates Yua. The focus is on a person nearing their second transformation. He offers her a high-level potion, explaining how rare and expensive it is. The MC is momentarily impressed, as class advancement takes a full 13 levels. So Yue is truly exceptional. But Yue declines the gift, and Chang's world crumbles. He insists, but Yue has more important work to do. She turns to our hero, and Chang can't believe this nobody is wasting his time. He insults Bloods. He gives it to Yue, who warns him, but he doesn't stop. The MC, who is just standing there, wonders if it would be socially acceptable to cast a Fabadon spell on Chang and end the story. Chang's ego is inflated, and Priest Girl, perhaps sensing an impending disaster, tries to stop him. But he shuts her down and throws another insult at the hero. This time, our hero is in no mood to ignore it. He tells Chang that he's showing off a random portion as if it were a legendary artifact. Sound Warrior Chang supports him and challenges the MC to prove it. Instead of arguing, Hero takes out the Pioneer emblem and hands it to Yue as if it's no big deal. The entire group is shocked. Hero wants Yue to take it and makes up a story that he found it at home and always planned to give it to her. Yue uses it, and her stats shoot up. At this point, Chang's brain cells are in survival mode. He doesn't believe it, or perhaps doesn't want to. He does the typical loser move and accuses the MC of stealing it. He puts it on. But reality doesn't care about his feelings. Forced to swallow his ego, he apologizes on his knees. The MC is satisfied and leaves with YUA. On the way, YUA apologizes, which Hiro ignores, but advises her to focus on her second transformation and admission to the best university instead of hanging out with him. He can't reveal the real reason why he can't level up properly with her. YUA gives him a skill book, and he gladly accepts it. Later, in the secret realm's treacherous graveyard, YUA is killing zombie-looking creatures with arrows. Hiro is with her and outwardly cheers her on, but inwardly he questions his life choices. The experience points there are a joke, but he can't tell YUA that he's already at level 10. Just then, YUA's phone beeps. Her guild members call to inform her that a boss monster is arriving. Priest Girl talks to YUA while Chang chatters in the background. YUA looks to MC for reassurance, and he tells her to leave. He gives his approval. She tells him to wait in the safe zone and leaves. Now our hero can do his job alone. Run straight towards danger. He's learned 2 new skills, but due to the pathetic skill slot limit, he can only use 3 at a time. And the fancy skill book UA gave him is useless before level 15. In another part of the graveyard, a man reports that the big boss has appeared in the high tower, deep within the secret realm. Getting there won't be easy, as monsters are lurking around. So everyone, he warns to be careful. Just then, an explosion shakes the area. Let's look ahead. Another adventure team is already charging, and of course, it's a group from UA. Inside the graveyard, the MC has reached the tower with the help of forbidden spells. Standing before him is a big boss, completely menacing. The boss unleashes a magical attack, causing a massive explosion. But the hero dodges it easily. In response, he activates Meteor Shower and summons a fiery rainstorm. Then, there's an explosion and the hero grins as the dust settles. System. He's bombarded with notifications, radical skill counts, mountains of experience points, and a huge reward. Big boss down. He's now level 30. This means he's ready for his first transformation. He loots pendants, gemstones, and the all-important emblem. As soon as he absorbs it, the system updates him that during the profession change, he can either unlock the hidden Necromancer class or attempt the prerequisite task of the secret arts mage profession. He knows that hidden professions are rare and can't be found just like that. He's suspicious. It turns out it's the emblems. After 2 seconds of deep thinking, he decides it's the Archmage. Meanwhile, YUA's guild is fighting when a sudden magical fluctuation puts everyone on alert. YUA orders a retreat. Chang is indecisive. YUA reminds him that his teammates' lives matter. YUA retreats and curses his bad luck. YUA tries to contact Hiro, but receives a message that he left due to urgent matters. After finishing the work at the graveyard, MC reaches the profession-changing hall. He searches for someone to help. A woman arrives. He registers her details and takes her to the mage profession change room. On his way, he meets Captain Joe, who updates him on the graveyard incident. Apparently, someone has caused significant damage in the area, and the threat level is Demon King class or higher. Therefore, he seeks Lone Shadow's intervention. The hero's first task as an archmage is to retrieve the divine emblem from the Radiant Temple. This is more basic than the Necromancer's mission of breaking into a tomb and stealing a crown. It's a warm-up. He has 3 days to complete it, and it's a prerequisite. So, without thinking, he accepts and leaves the hall. Outside, a woman bids him farewell. Strangely, she's not the same woman he saw before. He ignores this. The woman from before in the graveyard is soon with Captain Joe, but she's no ordinary investigator. She's the captain of the Lone Shadows, a secretive organization that wields the power of darkness and conducts mysterious, classified missions. She analyzes scenes and dark energy. She senses something, but finds no clues and concludes that whoever caused the destruction has vanished without a trace. Captain Joe suspects the incident is connected to recent disturbances. Lien isn't sure, but suggests more support and guidance. A man theorizes that culprit may be a monster. She immediately senses he's subtly hinting that the people of Lone Shadow are no different from monsters. The man realizes his mistake and apologizes. But Lone reveals the real danger, an ordinary monster. No, he's beyond Demon King level. Something normal humans can't handle. He's hiding in the shadows, and they have to find him before he makes his grand reappearance. Meanwhile, our hero sits in his apartment, reviewing his newly unlocked skills. Now that he's reached level 3, he's gained 4 extra skill slots, which means it's time to really use those books I gave him instead of letting them gather dust. The first skill automatically fuses with the forbidden spell to form a shield spell. Goes. This is a passive ability that activates when he takes damage, motivating him and absorbing attacks up to a limit. The next skill he checks merges with forbidden spells, boosting his earth-based spells by a few %, which is nice, but still not enough for him. So he decides to go to the trading center to get more skill books. The next day, MC arrives at the trading center and is immediately cornered by the same woman who refused to help him earlier. But the bar is filled with enthusiasm for helping the hero. Our hero asks about Yang Xin, but the woman conveniently says that Xin is helping another client and she will guide him herself. The hero refuses and starts browsing. Predictably, the woman's mood immediately sours. She tries again, but thankfully, Xin arrives. In reality, Xin wasn't with any client. She was eating. She rushed over as soon as she heard the MC was arriving, and the hero, feeling a little guilty, let her eat later. Offers to feed him. The clingy woman looks about to burst with frustration at this. Our hero sells 2 skill books to Wong and asks for more skill books. Meanwhile, Wong grows increasingly suspicious. The items hero brought earlier and is bringing now are unusual, and he's curious to know where he's getting them. Instead of ignoring them, he decides to investigate MC's background. That evening, Hero and Xin have dinner together. When the meal is over, he offers to pay the bill. But when he finds out, it turns out Xin has already paid. He asks why, but Xin smiles and keeps it a secret. Hero offers to drop her home, but she refuses because she has somewhere else to go. Actually, she's going to the hospital where her father is admitted. The commission she earned by helping Hero should cover her medical expenses for a month, but fate has other plans. On the way, something terrible suddenly happens. Monsters appear inside the safe zone. She gets out of the taxi and looks at them in shock. Xin is a 1-star mage, and she tries her best to stop the monsters, but her strength isn't enough. She barely manages to save herself. Just then, a crutcher lunges at her. Just then, a blade comes ripping through the air and slashing the creature. It's Captain Joe, and with one glance at the chaos around him, he realizes the situation has become dire. The secret realm is merging with reality, and these monsters are outside the 1-star league. An earlier conversation flashes through his mind about a ridiculously overpowered monster lurking in the city. Before he can think further, an attack comes towards him. He dodges just in time to see a man spewing so much rage that he resembles a self-proclaimed villain. Joe admits he's a mutant, but the man takes this as an insult. He claims he's the chosen one of darkness. Joe doesn't have time to argue. He attacks, but the man counters with such force that Joe is flung into the air. He declares himself the Dark Lord and attacks again, claiming the city as his own. Joe barely reacts and is thrown again. He leaves. The man boasts about his greatness, but just then, a cape-like voice from his pendant stops him. The voice reminds him that this power isn't his, but has been bestowed upon him. To prove his honor, he must sacrifice everyone in the city. He readily agrees. Meanwhile, MC casually exits the public restroom and is greeted by the monster apocalypse. The entire city is a mess of corpses, destruction, and chaos. One monster sees him and attacks him, mistaking him for a snack. However, Med is frightened by his earth magic. He goes. He finds Captain Joe, half dead, being held by a dark-powered man. The man immediately attacks the MC, brandishing an oversized claw. The MC easily blocks it. Then, the ape voice recognizes the MC's power and realizes he poses a far greater threat than the Chosen One. The MC contemplates whether to use the forbidden spell and finally does. The claw breaks and he is easily freed. In panic, the man calls out for his master, but the entity abandons him and pulls all the monsters back. Now he's alone, without his borrowed power. Mutants are those who, during their awakening, are lucky enough to acquire a hidden profession linked to the darkness. They are stronger than ordinary people at the same level, but without the protection of the darkness, they die. Our hero doesn't waste time grieving unnecessarily after killing a mutant, but instead loots and heads home. Meanwhile, a girl reports to Sun that the monsters have retreated and the gate to the secret realm has disappeared. Lan is lost in thought. The past few days have been a series of strange events. They are full of zombies that suddenly appear and disappear. He doesn't understand what they are doing. The girl explains that most of the area is under control, but the south side is badly affected. Casualties are high, and the status of the team there is unknown. Lan decides to go and investigate for himself and arrives at the south side, Captain Joe's territory. There, the body of the Chosen One lies like a statue, his stomach full of holes, as if for target practice. A man, Dwayne, arrives and sees that valuables have already been looted. Just then, Lan arrives. Dwayne reveals himself. He reveals he's a member of an organization composed entirely of fighters who operate in the shadows. Lan knows their reputation. Dwan explains that this dead body was once a member of theirs, until he betrayed them. He helped break the secret rail into reality, causing the monsters to wipe out their camp. A few lucky survivors escaped. Who killed the traitor? It's a mystery. Lan believes it's the captain, the powerhouse of the third transformation. Yet, this happened to his army. This means there exists a being capable of not only destroying the enemy but also, it can also prevent the secret realm's invasion. Before he can think, Dan leaves for important business. He is delighted to see new loot in the MC's apartment. High-quality garments, orange-grade armor, and a mysterious pendant. He hopes it isn't linked to an ancient deity or something even more unsettling. Little does he know, a sinister figure is watching him inside the pendant. The same ape entity appears in the crystal ball linked to the pendant, allowing him to spy. But just as the hero mentions the possibility of an ancient deity, the entity panics. She immediately orders communications cut off and the location concealed, as if their lives depended on it. In the hospital, the captain, looking like a mummy in bandages with a broken leg, recounts how their mission was suddenly interrupted by a young fighter who frightened the enemy like cockroaches fleeing from a mysterious figure. Translation: they investigated the scene and found nothing special. Just traces of basic magic, hoping this unknown person might be on their side. A previous suggestion suggests that the mysterious person might be a mutant, dismissing the idea as mere overthinking. Our hero arrives at the Radiant Temple, completely unaware that Dan, hidden in the shadows, is watching his every move. It's like some strangely curious stalker visited Dan at the trading center a few days earlier, hoping to purchase a fourth transformation fighter set. During their conversation, the same woman whom Hero had previously rejected looks at Dan as if he were her backup retirement plan. Wong tells Dan that a regular customer had also purchased the same set, who is clearly the MC. Curious, Dwayne wants to meet him, but he's not coming. Wong describes the outfit. A simple two-piece top and pants. Dwayne's instincts are screaming, legacy item alert. He's convinced this set is connected to his master and tries to buy the hero's details. But Wong is no naive. He's suspicious that Dan suddenly appeared immediately after the MC sales discussion. It's a setup, whatever the strange coincidence. He immediately figures everything out. He doesn't reveal it. He stalls time with an excuse, saying he'll call the hero first. Wang's anxiety doesn't subside after Duan leaves. When the nosy woman asks, he reveals what he learned about MC. MC's parents were ordinary two-star professionals who disappeared in an accident, leaving him alone. He later went to school and awakened his one-star profession on Ethan. The real problem is, how is someone with such a background selling such high-quality items? Even YUI's guild doesn't support him. So, there are two possibilities. Either he's stealing or is he connected to someone far beyond his reach? Duan continues his surveillance in the temple. He wonders how the hero, barely visible in his school uniform, repelled the secret realm invasion, while his master, despite being a powerhouse, lost to the realm's boss. Reports suggest that if the MC isn't absurdly strong, someone is definitely behind him. Duan doesn't want to take risks. Meanwhile, seeing the hero fighters battling monsters, he begins to shift gears. Duan expects a dramatic transformation, glowing armor or aura of destruction. The introduced hero looks like a normal student. Now Duan suspects that the MC will try to shake him off. That's why he plays smart. Past-tailing is not an option, otherwise he marks the hero's location with a skill. As soon as he enters the temple, someone attacks him. But a barrier flares in front of him, blocking the attack. Two stunts, and even more frustrating is that the surrounding monsters run away as soon as they see the hero. Then the hero meets a massive man who is frozen and drenched in sweat. Check the task guide to find out. He assumes this boy isn't important, so he simply passes by. Inside, he reaches a hidden chamber where a six-winged angel is standing. Upon seeing the hero, the angel does something unexpected. He runs away. The hero is confused. He was expecting a grand battle, but the temple boss is running away. Unfortunately, the angel has nowhere to run. The hero decides to end it. He summons a thunderstorm atop the tower. The lightning engulfs the angel. The temple collapses, and Duan stands there in shock. The hero is unhappy because without the first transformation, his rank won't increase, and the experience points are useless. The real advantage is the divine emblem, which signifies task completion. He thinks of leaving, but then Duan charges at him madly. The hero flinches, fearing the dark power will be revealed, but Duan looks at him with a mixture of admiration and concern. He assumes the hero is the master of this whole ordeal and offers to explain it himself. But before he can begin, the siren escapes. Hero teleportation, he takes out the scroll. It's better to leave first and talk later. Upon reaching the quieter area, Duan explains everything. His master sealed the invading rail with his life. But a traitor escapes. He has been trying to break the seal by sacrificing humans for years. Duan has been hunting him, but has been unsuccessful. Duan keeps talking, but the hero is worried not about any battle, but about his low level. If he doesn't rank up, his dark powers will be exposed, which is a big headache. Seeing his serious expression, Duan thinks he's about to be executed. He thanks him and offers to help. Hero sees potential, but first asks clarity not to tell anyone about today's events. Duan has no problem with this. He doesn't mind Hero's dark magic. He saved the city and has nowhere else to go, so he decides to follow Hero. While walking, Hero's phone rings. She calls, saying she needs to talk, and then hangs up. She's with Sulin and gives him an update on Hero's return. She has discovered that Hero has reached the first transformation level. She speaks of his good character, but Lan wants answers, not character references. At a meeting, Lion first brings up the destruction of Chinyu City, saying it's probably the work of mutants. An old man questions why she's raising this issue, considering she's a mutant herself. Everyone knows the price of dark powers: life depletion, loss of sanity, or transformation into a horror. According to her, Demon King level mutants don't exist. A man mocks her concern. He blows it. But she's showing possibilities. It's their choice whether to believe it or not. The man mocks and says he's willing to have his head chopped off if she's right. The old man arrives to discuss the city's ongoing investigation. But the higher-ups have rejected Lone Shadow's request for extra support. Lone finds this distrustful, but the man says to be patient. Just then, a girl brings in a report that the Radiant Temple was attacked, but thankfully, there were no deaths. Getting to the point, Kai realizes that the MC's leveling spot was the Radiant Temple, now Longbao City. Locked inside an impenetrable barrier, the people inside are frantically trying to understand what's happening. Dan and MC are standing in the crowd. Equally confused, the knights try to offer reassurance, making claims of safety that don't seem convincing. Hero connects the dots. His small commotion became a little loud, so much so that it triggered the city's highest security alert. Now all he can do is wait for the situation to settle down and return home. But the universe has other plans. Outside the barrier, monsters are targeting humans. Staring, the supposedly ultimate protection barrier breaks. As the monsters enter, the city immediately erupts into chaos. People scream, jostle, and run for their lives. Duan updates the MC that another city was similarly destroyed the previous night and asks our hero for advice. Meanwhile, the hero believes Duan will handle everything and is merely going through the motions. Misunderstandings escalate, and before anyone can correct them, Duan realizes this is a test, and the MC wants to see his potential. So, without further discussion, he moves on. Our hero isn't worried. There are so many people around, so many eyes. It's not right to highlight himself right now. He figures it's best to let Dan handle the deal. The guards try to fight, but the monsters tear them apart before they can even touch him. The monster leader is disgusted by this pathetic display. If this is the power of humans, then he should vent his anger on them. Dan stops the attack just before it lands. He's not so attached to the city, but rather preoccupied with proving himself to the MC. The hero, on the other hand, is trying to hold off Kring as Dan continues to call him master. The monster leader finally has a worthy opponent, but the excitement dies down quickly. Dan makes a move, and the leader is cut off. The crowd glares. No one expected this level of power. The truth is, Dan is incredibly strong. He's above level 1-3, a secret warrior with a high-star hidden profession. The hero also believes he's special. However, he also wonders why this lunatic roams around as his shadow. The Dark Lord decides to retreat. After the leader finishes, Dan turns to the hero and awaits further orders. But the hero is already satisfied. Duan gives the monster the orange loot dropped by the leader. The hero keeps the skill book for Yue and plans to make money by selling the shield. A little while later, a priest and an injured knight arrive. They thank him. Then another person arrives. Kai Dongming, the mayor of Longbao City. One look at the hero and Duan tells him they are not from the city. The hero makes up a story that they are. He came for work and got caught in this chaos. Unfortunately, Dongming misunderstands this and assumes Hero is blaming him for the barrier's failure. He bows and apologizes, even though Hero knows he's the one who caused the entire ordeal. Hero assures him it's not his fault. As compensation, Dongming offers a flight scroll, which is so expensive that Hero has to work hard to avoid appearing impressed. He also invites him to stay in the city for a few days because the defenses are low, but our hero refuses. He has to complete a profession change mission that will be open in a few days, and he can't miss his first transformation. Dongming gives him a black card, which is associated with a very powerful organization. Hero accepts with gratitude. Everyone parted on good terms, and MC and Duan left. In Xinyu City, Yue's guild members are waiting outside the profession change hall. As they emerge, Hero and Duan fly over them. Yue immediately senses Hero's presence, but Cheng laughs. He says that Hero is too poor to afford a flight scroll. Yue silences him with a glare. Cheng can't understand what Hero has. A flight scroll, better fashion sense, secret treasures, the mystery continues. Priest girl changes the topic and brings up his second transformation. Chang reveals his rank. He's not happy, but Sound Warrior and Buzzer cheer him on. Now all eyes are on Yua. She remains silent, which worries everyone. Chang, in his tiny brain, assumes that Yua has a low rank and is embarrassed. He hopes so. The test is simple. Candidates enter the arena and hone their skills by battling monsters. They attack each other, while drones monitor. The others charge, but our hero hides in the bushes. He possesses only shady forbidden magic, and he knows it won't be good if anyone discovers it. In the monitoring room, the captain, who sees him inactive, asks why he's here. Chewie defends him, explaining his late awakening, poor health, and bad luck. But 1 star for anyone who doesn't believe it. She received an emblem, which she thought was a simple gift, but upon using it, her profession changed from Swift Archer to Shadow of the Vanguard. First, there was confusion, then more confusion. Finally, she concludes that Hero knew this would happen. Without overthinking, she accepts the change. She explains it to everyone. Chang doesn't believe it. Yui doesn't have the patience to explain it to her. The others ignore it. While Chun is silently burning with anger, he decides to find the emblem and prove the truth. Meanwhile, in the profession changing room, MC's journey is smooth. She is divine. He gives the emblem and his stats skyrocket. New skills unlock, and he can now cast forbidden spells with precision. Outside, Duan stands guard. Sun sees him. She already knows that Duan is absurdly strong, but she's even more shocked to hear that he's practically shadowing the hero and showing unusual respect. She takes an interest and gives Chewie updates through her earpiece. Chewie isn't bothered, saying that the hero is on their side. Lan wants answers directly from the hero, and he asks her. She goes to meet him. Duan steps aside. Kai gets straight to the point and reveals that she knows Hero has already passed his first transformation. Hero is briefly shocked, but then agrees. He's always supported her, so there's no harm in believing him. Then she gets to a bigger issue. The darkness's power is causing many people to mutate, and she wants to make sure Hero isn't one of them. Hero tells her that he has zero interest in becoming a mutant. They live under constant surveillance by the authority, and she don't want attention. Lan isn't completely convinced. She shows him a crystal that detects darkness. He needs to inject his power into it. He hesitates. Lan notices but waits. Finally, he does, and the crystal explodes. Both stare at the shattered pieces. According to Lan, the crystal measures corruption. Mild tremor, mild contamination, violent shake, serious problem. But Lan conveniently forgot to tell him what explosion means. Hero tells her to trust him. They've had a relationship for so many years. His words touch Lan, and she remembers his tragic past. But duty calls. She must report, no matter the guilt. Hero understands, but is worried. If things worsen, he considers leaving the city. Before leaving, Lan gifts him a skill book. Hero, in turn, gives her the sacred wing as a token of appreciation for always supporting him. With this, he departs, and Chi has no choice but to accept. Later, she visits the adventurer's office to update Lan. She worries that the authorities might see MC as a threat, but Lan thinks it's probably a bad idea to provoke him when he's already beyond their grasp. Instead, she decides it's better to negotiate than provoke him. She orders a halt to any investigation and seals all information related to our hero. Lan also shares the same sentiment. Lan then decides to shift the focus to Dan. Meanwhile, our hero returns to the apartment with Dan and doesn't seem to be in a good mood. Dan immediately senses. He takes it. The MC explains that Kai has texted that the authorities have officially dropped the investigation. But he's worried about future level-ups. Every time he destroys a secret railway, it causes a stir, and sooner or later, the higher-ups might connect the dots. Duan, now fully convinced that our hero operates on a completely different level from other humans, offers a solution: training in unregistered areas. Some places are off-grid because the authorities don't have the resources to manage them, and some because it's been taken over by evil forces. Dwan already knows 2 such locations and can find more if needed. Our hero assigns him this task and plans to go to the trading center the next day to sell the loot, rest, and be a normal person for a while. Dwan then spends the night at a hotel, planning to find a rental the next day. But before he can begin his rest, the town's mayor, Jiang Ji, arrives. He asks Dwan if he intends to stay in the town. When Dwan confirms, Jiang Ji offers him a high-privileged city card and assistance. As Dwan looks at the card, Jiang Ji panics inside because Dwan has rejected recruitment offers from several cities. He doesn't know that Dwan's decision is related not to the city but to the MC. Meanwhile, Jiang Ji, unaware of the hero's existence, congratulates himself on acquiring such a valuable asset for the city's safety. Our hero is so glued to the game that he doesn't even realize the time passing. Taking a break, he checks the class group chat, which is still hot. He opens it out of curiosity. Everyone is worried about power levels, evolving abilities, and the dreaded college entrance exam, which requires at least 1 transformation. The irony is that Hero used to be someone who didn't care about these things. Yet, within a few days, he surpassed everyone without even trying. Then, suddenly, a UA fanboy mocks him for wasting time playing games. Shuai messages him to ignore the loudmouth. As soon as the situation calms down, someone posts news of a secret realm invasion. Then Hero thinks he should have dealt with that ape-like dark entity earlier. Funny thing is, somewhere in the shadows, the entity sneezes. The next morning at the trading center, the woman scolds Shin for coming to work despite his injury, because being annoying is her full-time job. She starts insulting Hero as well. Shin defends her, but she's extra toxic today, digging up the MC's past and making fun of him. Before the scene can get worse, the ground spikes up next to her, and she barely escapes. Guess who's there? Our hero, who overheard everything and opted to stay silent. The woman immediately realizes that karma works quickly and goes into victim mode. She screams for the guards as if her life is in danger. Shin tells Hero to leave before something bad happens. But the MC tells him not to worry. Just in time, Wong arrives with the guards in full authority mode. Hero wastes no time in calling out Wong for spying on him, labeling him a thief, and becoming a low-budget detective. Wong pretends he orders the guards to arrest him. But Hero pulls out the supreme black card. The guards stop upon seeing it, leaving Wong and the woman stunned. Still, Wong, in his ego, asks how Hero got the card. Hero simply tells him to investigate himself, as he's apparently such a master investigator. Frustrated, Wong tells the woman to keep an eye on Hero while he calls someone. Outside, people are confused as to why the guards are blocking the way. Meanwhile, Dongming, who has received word from HQ, asks Wong for details. Wong realizes he's in trouble and tries to chalk it up to a misunderstanding. But Dongming refuses. Furious, he scolds Wong for offending the MC, whom he's been trying so hard to win over. To avoid being crushed under his own stupidity, Wong changes strategy. He puts up a stunt, perhaps questioning his life choices. Then, in a last desperate attempt, he calls Dawan and drags him into this mess. He expects to. Hero and Shin are waiting at the trading center when Dongming and Dan enter. Their sharp gaze freezes the woman, as if she's realized she's messed with the wrong people. She looks at Wong, who looks like he just ran a marathon in heavy armor. Dongming confirms that Hero isn't interested in their apology and orders Wong and the woman to leave. Wong vents his anger on the woman and punches her. Dongming doesn't waste time with their drama and he signals the guards to throw them out. After the scene ends, everyone sits down and Shin serves tea to the MC. Dongming notices that Shin and Hero are comfortable with each other, while Shin is starstruck that our hero is associated with such powerful people. During their conversation, Dongming brings up the treasure catalog that Hero was looking at. When asked, Hero explains that he was looking for the endgame relic. This confuses both of them. Hiro explains that he looked it up online and thought it sounded cool. Last night, Hiro. He checks the skill book he received as a gift. It turns out it's a skill for mages that restores mana during battle. Upon testing, the system mentions the endgame relic without any explanation. With no other option, Hiro decides to figure it out later and calls it a night. In the present, Dongming invites Hiro and Duan to visit Longbow City and leaves with the flight scroll. After his departure, Hiro gets hungry and Duan suggests they go home. They arrive at Dan's villa and Hiro enjoys the luxury. He's impressed. Duan suggests he move in, but Hiro wants to save up to buy a house himself. Duan offers to pay, but Hiro doesn't want charity. He's earned enough crystal coins by selling equipment, which could be converted to buy a villa, but that would deplete his savings. So he chooses a slow and steady approach. While drinking tea, Duan has already called the chefs. Just then, his phone rings. Jung-yi explains that the investigation team, which is looking into recent city disasters, she wants to ask questions. Dua knows this might influence the hero, so he wants to get his opinion first. For now, he tells Jang that he's unavailable. After telling the hero, the MC has no idea what the investigation team will be like. Meanwhile, higher officials are meeting about the mysterious hotshot who apparently saved Chinyu City. But no one has seen him. Yet rumors are spreading like wildfire as if he's some legendary savior. One man says what half the people are thinking. It all sounds like nonsense. Sulin tries to explain that perhaps the sudden end of the invasion and the overnight wipeout of mutants contributed to the story. But the man isn't convinced. He argues that just because the attack stopped doesn't mean anything has been proven. Moreover, some of the recent attacks were beyond Demon King level, and monsters of such power don't disappear without a trace. Kai has been watching the whole thing and understands why Lan is under pressure. She secretly erased all records related to Hiro so that her name wouldn't be implicated in the case. He came, and now he's paying the price. Just then, Jang enters and announces that Duan won't be able to come. This is the final straw for the already irritated man. First, the so-called hero is missing, and now the investigator is too. Fed up, he decides to take charge of the entire investigation himself. Later, the same man arrives at the Ivy Tomb, a hidden place in the secret realm. He's come to investigate, though calling it investigation would be a slight compliment to his activities. The air is filled with the remnants of dark power, and the man does something unexpected. His eyes glow, and before anyone can stop him, he's drowned in that ominous energy. A monster stands before him. Meanwhile, at Dan's mansion, our hero is engrossed in his mobile game. But just as he's about to win, the system alerts him about the final relic. He senses someone contacting him through aura and focuses on pinpointing the location. He picks up his jacket and prepares to leave. Tan arrives just in time and catches him leaving. The MC hands him the phone and tells him the game round is over. Do it while he leaves. On their way to the graveyard, the hero notices the relic's location moving on the map. The guards at the graveyard entrance are already tense. A monster has appeared, its body distorted in a strange and hideous way, with the same man visibly trapped inside. The poor man is begging for help. Meanwhile, traffic has stopped due to chaos. MC gets out of the taxi and continues on his own. At the graveyard, they reach Lan and his assistant and are frozen by the sight of the monster. It's worse than they thought. It's far more dangerous. Lachi lies injured in his lap. He is working at full speed with the high-tech gear Hiro gave him. But Lan's injuries are too much for him to handle. Lan tries to get up, and Kai gives him the bad news. The monster is now heading straight for downtown. The mayor has called Duan, but Lan knows Duan is strong. But against this thing, he can only buy time. The only hope is Hiro, and as if the universe is listening, MC takes on the monster. The beast leaps and flies headfirst into the defensive barrier. The force collides. He freezes and looks confused. The system offers to let the hero absorb the monster, and he accepts. As soon as he does, a crazy surge of power surges through his body, and all his stats skyrocket. But with the power comes something strange. Random images, cryptic and unsettling. Dan arrives just after the action ends, and the hero informs him that the monster has been taken care of. Dwayne notices a man lying nearby, seemingly in a questionable state. Before he can think too much, the MC hands him the cleanup and leaves. Later, the man is locked up in Chinu City's breeding grounds and decides to tell the truth. It turns out he found a demon in the secret rail, tampered with the dark powers, and everything went wrong from there. Now the entire city is convinced that a mysterious hero is watching over them. Zhang Ji wonders if Duan saw a glimpse of the hero, and Duan nods. Zhang Ji requests that he wants to meet the hero. His plan is to keep him in the city permanently by giving him perks, but Duan immediately refuses. He's rarely seen and isn't the type to settle down. And there's no hero anyway. Dan and the MC cleverly dump all the credit on an imaginary figure. Without proof, Jung can't reach his shadow. To make it more believable, Duan assures that the hero has family members in Chinu City whom he cares for. This is a complete lie, but Jung thinks it's official. Kai and Lan also support him, saying the MC doesn't want to be disturbed. Meanwhile, our hero is taking things easy, so-called piecing it all together. The final relics are actually the remains of long-dead secret realm demon lords. The dramatic images earlier conjured up in his mind were the remnants of a dead dark lord. He feels a little scammed, but he has no interest in becoming Grand Realm Lord. He has a different plan. He knows the realms are awash in dark power and are constantly leveling up. When the invaded timeline can no longer handle it, it will be game over. Currently, only a few people in his timeline can reach the fourth transformation, and he, also because of the messy cultivation path. The profession isn't optimized for survival. He extracted all this from the Demon Lord's memories. If this continues, humanity will be destroyed. Yes, he's strong enough to survive. But what's the point of surviving alone in a monster-infested wasteland? Luckily, not every timeline is this bad. Some have even won the battle. He gets the idea and decides to gather relics, extract useful knowledge and spread it smartly. Otherwise, he'll become a target. Then his phone rings. It's Wei calling, offering dinner. At least something good happened today, he admits. Beforehand, his guild members hold a small party to celebrate Yue and Cheng's second transformation. Cheng reveals that he's booked a private room for the celebration. Unfortunately, Yue has already made plans with Hero and leaves, asking to postpone the celebration to the following night. Chang doesn't tolerate this. He accuses him of being an agent. Our hero takes a bite of roasted lamb and savors it, as if today is the best moment, which, given his recent life, seems to be true. It could be. Yue explains the entire story of her hidden profession, leaving Hero lost in thought. The Demon Lord's memories revealed that awakeners, professionals, and slaves never reached their full potential. Perhaps the emblem is meant to fix this. But Yue is not happy, but disappointed, as she was about to purchase the emblem for herself and the guild. Still, she insists he not slack off, level up, and protect himself. Hero finds an opportunity in this, as leveling up alone is very demanding, and with Yue around, they'll feel protected. This wasn't what Yue expected, but before she can argue, she feels pain. She was injured in quest and suffered in silence. Before Hero can say anything, his phone rings. The voice on the other end isn't friendly. The caller asks where he got the emblem, and the tone is more threatening than curious. Hero hangs up. He tells Yue, and her eyes widen in shock. He hasn't told anyone about the emblem, so something strange must be happening. Before they can think, the phone rings again. The caller even more. The hero angrily hangs up again. They finish their meal and part ways. Returning home, the hero gets a strange vibe. The place looks like it's been through a storm. Furniture is upside down, things are scattered, and then the man appears. The man who called him. The hero feels attacked, but he dodges without moving. He pushes the attacker into the wall, sending him crashing down. The man is stunned by the entire scene. The hero looks at him and makes it clear. First, respect for strength. Then talk about how our hero should have been weak. Unfortunately for him, because with a massive boost in attributes, the MC now moves like the wind and reacts even faster. He can handle such situations easily without using spells. The man tries one last desperate attack. When that fails miserably, he starts running for his life. Sprinting towards the balcony, he leaps off, perhaps thinking he can escape, but our boy grabs his leg mid-air and drags him back inside. After the mess he's made of the apartment, there was no question of letting him off so easily. Now both men stand before our hero, beaten, humiliated, and in the middle of nowhere, begging for mercy, having given up everything they had. The MC demands answers. It turns out that the mastermind behind this entire spectacle was Chang, who hired them to expose the hero. But since he was the one who started it, our hero won't let him go unpunished. He casts a forbidden spell on both of them, severely shattering their minds. Meanwhile, Chang is in the Shield Warrior's care. The man sitting next to him is quite pleased with his own plans. Be it his plan to send people after the MC or to teach Yue a lesson in the previous mission. His brilliant plan was to deliberately leave the boss monster free so that Yue would be scared, and then he himself would enter the scene as a hero and shine. But unfortunately, Yue, without caring for his own life, killed the monster himself. Just then, one of Chang's spies enters. Chang is curious and asks for a report, but instead of answering, the man who overheard part of their conversation first asks about Yue. At that very moment, Chang tightens his grip on the Shield Warrior's neck. But in reality, he's not in control either. Our hero, furious at what Yue did to him, is controlling everything from behind the scenes. He's in no hurry to end their lives quickly. That would have been too lenient. Instead, he casts a spell that plays with both their minds and their very beings until they're completely reduced to dust. It's quite convenient for the hero. There's no evidence left, no cleanup hassle. But one thing becomes clear from this entire incident. The neighborhood isn't exactly safe. High-level Awokens can roam in and out at will. He can deal with them, though. But sitting at home and guarding it 24/7 isn't possible. If these idiots had access to the information extracted from the Demon Lord's memories, it would be a nightmare. Thankfully, he hadn't even started properly sorting those memories yet. But it doesn't matter now. He needs to go somewhere where unwanted guests won't be so easy to come by. Duan's house seems like the perfect fortress. Now, at Duan's house, MC reveals everything, and predictably, Duan explodes with rage. He's ready to immediately go on a manhunt and teach every lurking threat a lesson. Our hero, on the other hand, is more practical. He needs an alchemist, someone who's skilled, capable, trustworthy, and not affiliated with some gossip-loving guild. Duan knows of several talented alchemists, but they're all tied to larger organizations, which means lots of ears and lots of danger. The hero learns from the Demon Lord's memories that they had top-tier alchemists, and their potions were. She was far ahead of the rest of the world in potions. She even had some prescriptions for them. But without any professional knowledge, they were like ancient poetry to her. Incomprehensible, and after what happened today, she doesn't want greedy people like Chang around. The next morning, MC learns from Yue that she has the perfect candidate. Shi'ar, the brother of her guild's priestess, who was supposed to join the guild but didn't get along with Chang. Well, that's a problem the hero has solved for Yue once and for all, because Chang will never fight anyone again. Yue asks why he suddenly needs an alchemist. Hero makes up some lame excuses. She doesn't agree but lets it go. Later, MC meets with Shai while Yue and Shu wait outside. Shai looks at the prescription and notices that the ingredients aren't particularly rare, but the refining method is complex, intricate, and completely different than anything he's ever seen before. Our hero then explains that this potion can increase experience gain by 100%. Shai freezes in shock upon hearing this. The most expensive portions on the market barely reach 40%, and here's a formula that can maximize the effect. If word gets out, even low-level professionals will easily rank up. Shortly, Shui tells the MC to wait a bit and runs upstairs to test it. Leaving Ting on tea duty, the three sit downstairs, drinking tea and chatting. Everything is quiet. Then, some very strange noises start coming from upstairs. They rush upstairs and see that one of Shui's experimental slimes is escaping, is trying to do something, and amidst the chaos, Shui steps forward, glowing like a mad scientist, and declares the experiment a success. He tested a small portion on the slime and found it to be fully effective. Our hero is now almost sure that the rest of the formulas will work just as well. Ting stares at her brother. The man who treated his lab like a temple is destroying it in his excitement. When everything calms down, Shui makes the girl swear to keep this secret, and then tells Hiro. He asks about his next step. But before MC can answer, his phone rings. It's a message from Shui. The city is sending senior students to a secret leveling area next week. But space is limited, so each class will have to go in turn. The group chat immediately explodes. All the students are filled with excitement and planning. Now Hiro's plan is clear. He'll first test the experience portions on himself, and when they hit the market, they'll definitely be a hit. But along with big profits, there are also big problems. People will start to swarm around, hoping to bask in success for free. MC isn't about to hand his hard work over to anyone. Instead, he'll strengthen those around him and build his own influence before others realize what's happening. Hiro thinks it would be a good idea to include Joja, the buzzkill of the UAEA Guild, in the potion sharing group. Jason is strong, gets along well with the UAEA, and it's clear that having a powerhouse on your side is always beneficial. He's trying to give Shai some more insight. He gives the prescriptions, and some of the ingredients seem completely unfamiliar to Shai. Yui suggests they test the first batch of experience potions together and invites Hiro to join them. Shai, meanwhile, stresses about whether or not he can prepare enough portions before the appointed day. Yui and Ting focus on gathering everything, and our hero simply sits quietly in the background, like a background extra in his own story. When the day finally arrives, Hiro arrives first at the meeting spot and waits on the roadside. He does. A bus full of students passes by, and they make fun of him. Perhaps his daily routine isn't complete without his jokes. Students are gathered at the dungeon entrance, waiting for their turn. Chiwi arrives with another group. These are second-grade students who have the privilege of waiting for 2 hours before entering. Then they see MC, Yui, Shai, and Ting comfortably stepping through the line like VPs. Naturally, they don't like this. Before the outrage escalates, Chiwi explains that our hero is leading the guild and heading straight to the depths of the dungeon, a league completely different from theirs. But the explanation doesn't stop the jealousy. Some students whisper Yui's name, and this catches the attention of another group. Chang Muku, rank 4, Li Kai, rank 3, and Guyejo, rank 2. Instead of complaining like the others, these three simply head straight into the dungeon without any drama. The MC and Yui's group finally reach the depths of the dungeon, where Shai hands out experience potions. Everyone thanks the hero. However, Yui knows that socializing was never her thing. Everyone had made fun of him ever since he failed his first awakening at age 16, and instead of proving them wrong, he'd become even more withdrawn. Seeing him talk normally and without looking tortured is a rare sight. She just hopes it means he's finally getting over it. Bringing everyone back to serious mode, Yui reminds them that this time they have no tanks or strong magic output, which means even a small mistake could cost them their lives. Yui wanted to avoid unwanted attention to the team. Our hero avoids any flashy moves, as frankly, he tends to overdo things. The plan was simple. She would lure the enemies. Changshu would handle the defense, and she would use potions at the right time. The MC finds this slow leveling torture, but he endures it for the sake of teamwork. The battle begins. Yu's arrow hits a zombie-like creature, and the entire crowd breaks loose. Xiang gains a strength boost, and Shangshu's heavy strike blows up the explosion monsters. Meanwhile, Y's fire magic nicely roasts them. Once the creatures are finished, Ting and Shangshu, excited, dreams of his second transformation and admission to a top school. Just then, the cave erupts in laughter. Yanzhou, Li Ke, and Muku emerge, exuding overconfidence. They joke that even low-level fighters dream of a top school. Ting and Jiangshu recognize them, but find it strange that these guys aren't from Qinu City. Yu asks what they want. Yanzhou bluntly says he's just here to get Yui to join his team. Yui rejects without thinking because she has her own guild. Yanzhou then makes a sweet offer. He also offers a spot for Chang, but Yui's response remains unchanged. He then presses that the anomaly is causing dungeon monsters to become stronger, and that major universities will now only give opportunities to elite teams or those with rare talents. Yazo tries to portray Yui as a golden opportunity, but the real reason is clear. Yui is destined for greatness, and everyone else is mediocre. Yui, unable to bear any more nonsense, summons her weapon. Shine, sensing danger, suggests she level up elsewhere. Yui leaves without a word, and the group follows. Our hero stands silently, perhaps deep in thought or on the board. Just then, Li Ke approaches him and shows attitude, asking if he's having fun. MC calmly denies it. Li insults him. Shangshu intervenes and calls out Yanzhou's group for crossing the line. Li throws a punch. Shangshu blocks it, but the impact is so heavy that it takes his breath away. Wei comes to help, but Yanzhou stops him. Shangshu, perhaps with broken ribs, is ready to return to the fight, but Li Ke jumps again. Ting and Yui catch him. They run to stop it. But before they can, our hero, Para, raises his hand. A magic barrier forms, blocking the attack. Everyone is stunned. MC grabs Li by the wrist, throws him to the ground, and returns his insults. Yajo runs towards Li, but Yui's arrow pierces his lower back. Muku stands and tries to understand the whole spectacle. MC didn't plan to escalate, but she provoked it herself. MC tells Ting to heal Shangshu and asks how to handle Li now. Shangshu says whatever the MC says. Then the MC says take Li's equipment as compensation. Yajo protests. The MC punches him and he sinks into the ground. Pain and fear instantly make him low, and he agrees to give his equipment as well. Muku also surrenders. Everything settled, the MC says let's level up. On the way, Yui says that she had thought of helping him level up, but clearly he doesn't need it. The MC gives a valid excuse, but Yui is happy. Shangshu and Ting ask which university the MC will join, but our hero is in such a situation. He never wants to go there because of the university's rules, restrictions, and the risk of secrets being leaked. So he avoids the topic and takes a practical approach. He can't use forbidden spells to level up, but thanks to attribute bonuses and gear, he manages with item spells. He returns home a few days later. He's only just gained a level yet, and that too from the experience portion. The joy of crushing high-level monsters with forbidden spells has made him forget how pathetic normal grinding can be. Someone like Yui reached level 60 in 2 years. Upon reaching there, she can perform a second transformation, whereas people with lower ranks find it better to go to university and learn skills. But our hero does not get depressed and enjoys the break. Then a call comes. Genshin tells that there is an auction going on in which there are high-value items, and Master Tank wants to know whether he will come or not. MC has nothing special to do, so he agrees. There he meets Tanji Chai, who is the appraiser of the Chunyu branch. While looking at the catalog, he finds mostly mezzanine items. While going through the useless portion, he sees a portion. The same portion which he had seen in Shui, made with. Sirens start blaring in his mind. He asks where did it come from? Each Chai explains that it was auctioned by the Kangui Guild, one of the top powerhouses in the country. strong, influential, and not randomly acquiring a rare formula. This means one of two things. Either Shai sold the formula or something shady happened. This Chai tells him about a new secret realm, Divine Trial. This is a solo tower challenge. There are rewards on every 10 floors, and one of those rewards is an experience portion recipe. Did Dalwan ever hear about it before? I haven't heard of it, because everyone officially registers on the real government website. But the MC isn't worried about regulations, but about Shoy. The name Divine Trial sounds incredibly grand, and that's when the system drops the mission. Clear the rail in 2 months or you'll be erased. Normal people would panic, but the MC considers it a fascinating challenge. Dan gathers information and learns that the real Kangui Guild controls it. Entry is only possible with their approval. The problem is huge, but the MC's existence is at stake, so he'll deal with it later. For now, clearing the task is the priority. When he finally reached the trial realm, he already had decent intel, as the guild was attracting strong contenders by posting information on its forum. Slipping past the guards should have been easy, but the moment he touched the entrance, an explosion occurred. Alarms blared throughout the guild, and people rushed to report to the leader. Meanwhile, our boy fell back into his room through a black hole-like portal. He tried to understand what had happened. As soon as he touched the entrance, an energy surge smashed him and broke defenses. Even the system, which never fails, started spamming damage. Guards at the entrance to the trial rail were injured. Healers were busy. Hishu, the guild master of the Answer Guild, was observing. One guard regained consciousness and reported that there was an explosion at the entrance, leaving him unconscious. Shu wondered what the real glitch was. Just then, a priestess appeared and suggested revealing the truth with magic. She picked up her staff and activated the spell. Magic circles glowed, and time rewound because the trial rail had been destroyed. High-level security features include image recording and time rewind. The time rewind shows a sinister figure walking towards the entrance. Before he can go inside, a holy deity appears and literally kicks him out. Deity then becomes worried and declares that it's essential to find the dark intruder, or else the world will be in danger. The footage leaves everyone speechless, and a meeting of the 7 guild leaders is immediately called. Reviewing the footage, the leaders confirm that it was Deity. Luing Jin reveals that he knows Deity's identity. He doesn't know, but his magic was of the legendary Forbidden Curse level. Fengju remembers that Shu had previously passed a trial to obtain Deity's recognition and blessing. Shu confirms, but he didn't expect Deity to appear in person. Yulingwa doesn't like this direction at all. If a Forbidden Curse user can't destroy Dark Deity, it's a very bad sign. Luyu Yuning also shares his concern. Wangbo suggests that perhaps forbidden spells are designed against Dark Deity. Zheng Yanwan suggests trying it. Shu, deep inside, he understands that all these people have been keeping an eye on the trial realm and are now pressuring it to be opened. He will open it, but with a warning. The monsters inside are no joke, and their current strength will shatter them. Regarding Deity's blessing, Shu says he's not worthy of it yet. Young Jin asks Old Feng's opinion, and he becomes enraged. Young Jun tries to calm him down. Old Feng reminds him that if the mysterious hero hadn't saved Chunlu City, innocent people would have died. Young Sin calms him down, saying, "Burning down the room in anger won't help." Old Feng retired after paying the price for the dark power, but now he's being pulled back into chaos. Young Jun suggests showing the recording of the incident to the mysterious hero and offers bottles of fine wine as a bribe, which cools Old Feng's anger. At Dan's villa, our boy glare at the system notifications, saying a new mission has arrived. Fix the system by completing the second transformation. He comes out and finds Old Feng and Lan sitting there. Introductions. Later, he discovers that Old Feng isn't just any retiree. He's a walking legend. From developing secret formulas to wiping out evil adventurer organizations, he holds the title of strongest mutant. The members of Lone Shadow remain hidden, but Old Feng's mere presence forces the enemies to rethink their actions. This same old man gives him a small gift of millions of crystal coins and 100s of high-tier experience portions. Our MC is mentally shocked and asks why they've come. Old Feng plays a recording. The MC is almost choked up after watching the video. He does. The terrifying evil entity everyone fears is none other than him. The system updates the mission and begins to trap him. He maintains a neutral expression and says he will send the recording to the mysterious hero. Lan gives him her card. The MC recognizes him from the profession-changing room. After they leave, Old Feng is surprisingly impressed and plans to recruit him to the team. Lan asks if the MC and the mysterious hero are the same person. But Old Feng says he doesn't know if the MC is innocent. If he wants to become a student, they will also believe. Just have the mysterious hero on their side. This is enough because the enemy is getting stronger. MC has guessed what happened to the system. Deddy was tracking his location and his power is not manageable. So priority number 1 is to reach his third transformation and fix the system. He cannot ignore other missions either. If he cannot learn to use the enemy's power, it will cause more headaches in the future. He gets intel from Duan. The trial realm is in the tower structure. The floors are unknown because no one has reached the top. Monsters are more lethal than other secret realms. The highest floor is 42, and Shu holds the record. A bigger issue for the MC is that his evil god identity could be exposed, and given the trial's crazy mechanics, the forbidden spell could be encore, so it's probably better to have someone else conduct the trial. Nowhere in the mission does it say he needs to be cleared personally. He asks Duan how many floors he can reach in Shu's place. Duan says around 35, and that's the decision. Shu nears his 5th transformation, clearly stronger, but Dan is on his side. So he'll be the one to attempt the trial. No worries about betrayal. The MC begins giving him special training. Meanwhile, Old Feng is shocked to hear that the mysterious hero is sending someone to the Kanghu Guild's trial. Lan confirms that Dan himself submitted the request and even asked for a training room. Old Feng is now very interested because just a few days ago, all 7 guild heads attempted the trial, and guess what? Every single one failed. Even Young Sim. Now, if Dan does something extraordinary, it's time to see. It would be a spectacle worth watching. Excitement practically sets Old Feng on fire, and that's not just a metaphor. The flames are literally consuming his body, slowly sapping his life. In the training room, Duan, Old Feng, and Lan discuss strategy, while Captain Zhou and the others observe from the sidelines. Zhou is secretly thankful, because he was originally going to have MC expelled from the test. But because of chaos, that order was cancelled. And thank God it did, because the one who sees the situation today knows that he did. Unknowingly saved himself from destruction. Duan gives Lan a drive filled with valuable intel. Lan checks it, finding monster weaknesses, cleared floors, and classified data all present. MC extracted this intel from the Demon Lord's memories because he was the one who attacked the trial rail. So, obviously, he has all the inside information. Old Fun wants to see the training, but the real concern is the world-level threat. He asks if the mysterious hero is confirmed that the evil god will destroy the world. Tuan asked MC the same question yesterday. Tuan answers his question. He's a man. That's why the MC can't ignore him. But telling the truth is dangerous. He leaves after giving a half answer. As long as the mysterious hero is there, there's no need to worry. Old Fun, satisfied with this quick answer, hands over the responsibility of the trial realm to Dan. Tuan enters without delay, and the monsters immediately lock him in. They charge, and Duan fights back. He knocks down the monsters, but gets hurt himself. From outside, the MC tells him to take a break. Otherwise, he'll have to have a full body cast ready. But Duan is adamant. He'll go again after a short rest. The master gave him the opportunity. He's given it. He won't disappoint. Lan is certain that if she went in herself, she wouldn't come back alive. Monsters are above the 4th transformation, and lucky survival isn't guaranteed. Old Feng is lost in thought. He heard that MC performed an absurdly fast transformation. Can Dwan do it too? Maybe the mysterious hero can break the combat system and unlock the divine blessing. Meanwhile, MC realizes that he's oversimplified things. Knowing monster weaknesses isn't enough. People, weapons, and skills all have limits. If Dwan fails, he'll have to test himself, which is nightmare, because his combat skills are practically non-existent. His only hope is forbidden spells, which will either expose his identity or put him in danger. So he ends today's disaster and says goodbye to Lan of Old Feng. Classes start next week. He needs to level up quickly before then. If Dwan can't handle it, he'll need stronger skills or better gear. The best way to sneak is with flying scrolls, and luckily, he has. Stocked up. Using a scroll, he flies and lands near the destination. A wild secret realm, the same one Dan mentioned. It's not under official control yet, so there are no restrictions. The surroundings resemble a war zone. Clearly, there was a fight, but our boy doesn't care. He steps inside. Prays he doesn't get another headache. Inside, a group of bloodthirsty lunatics have already wiped out. As soon as they see the flying scroll, they assume its owner is dead. The Demon Lord's loyal fanboys are confident that the master will descend soon. Unfortunately, one of the victims had an ear device that is still broadcasting. Another group in the forest hears mention of a secret realm invasion. The girl immediately realizes the attack will be on the mountain and updates the team. The real problem is Changeling City, which is in direct danger. The captain assesses the situation. One squad is already wiped, and if they rush, it's suicide. The monsters are radically strong, and the city barrier won't hold much longer. So, the orders are to retreat and inform the authorities. Do it. Step 1. Evacuate civilians. Step 2. Pray for a miracle. There's no surveillance, so one scout has to stay. There is. The captain decides to stay. The squad protests, but he shuts them down. He's accepted his fate. He makes one last call to his daughter, and she, blissfully unaware, wishes him a happy birthday. Before he can respond, a powerful force explodes, felt even by the retreating squad. In the meantime, Secret Rail, our boy, unleashes the entire Ice Age. His endless ice calamity freezes monsters. He's been waiting for a while, and he gets a nice level boost from it. The Demon Lord supporters stand ready to welcome their master. But someone else casually strolls in. Both sides awkwardly look at each other. The Demon Lord they were waiting for has already been killed by the MC. The supporters do a quick analysis. The MC doesn't recognize them, which means they're neither a reincarnation nor a follower. But seeing him walk alone in the hideout, they remember the scroll and assume that the MC was the opportunist who was the Demon Lord. Wanted to join MC, but got scared after seeing his dark power. They ask questions, but MC straight up says no. The region is his personal problem, not theirs. Garong, who thinks he is very special. He gets angry and starts lecturing about his greatness. MC is not in the mood to listen to biography. He clearly says fight or get out. Just then the supporter army explodes and decides to teach him a lesson. But just as the attack is about to begin, the air becomes heavy. The light fades and their confidence evaporates. The MC decides to show them their true fear. He traps them in a nightmare-inducing illusion where all their weaknesses are exposed. He instantly identifies Garang's old shoulder injury and attacks him. In the forest, the captain was waiting for the invasion, but nothing happened. He himself returns to the cave and freezes in shock. Garang and his entire squad are dead, but the worst part is yet to come. The entire secret realm is sealed under a massive ice storm, and not a single monster remains alive. The captain breaks the ice in hope and checks on the boss. But he too is found dead like the others. At the villa, the MC insists that Dwan take a break, but Dwan, stuck at level 45, is behaving as if the world has ended. He feels that he is not worthy of being the mysterious hero. The MC explains to him that his job was only to clear the trials and that special training will begin the following week. Hearing this, Duan is delighted and runs to order food. Meanwhile, our boy sits down to play games when he receives a message from Old Fun. He asks if he can get together. At first, the MC thinks that the old man's account has been hacked. But no, he's himself. And then the real twist comes. This always serious guy secretly enjoys gaming and is surprisingly good at it. He used to play with grandson, but now kid is preoccupied with exams. MC suggests they team up sometime. Old Fun agrees, and MC has no problem. Keeping the powerful old uncle happy will come in handy in the future. During the conversation, Old Fun mentions the supernova training camps being organized by top universities. The best performers will receive admission and top-tier resources. He has 2 spots. He offers one to the MC. Initially, the MC doesn't mind, because if there are forbidden spells, what's the need for such camps? But reality sets in. Magic isn't enough. Combat skills are also needed. Otherwise, fighting God in the future would be suicide, so he accepts the offer. Old Fun books both spots for the MC and his friend, explaining that his grandson and the MC are close in age and will surely get along. Students at Chinu City's senior middle school are shocked. Ordinary universities also open for combat majors. Standards are increasing. An announcement is made that a new student is joining, and it's no random person. The MC recognizes him immediately. The rest of the class reacts as if they're seeing a celebrity, and things get weirder when Muku requests to sit next to the MC. Jealous stares begin to rain down. Principal Jung sits angrily in Principal Feng's office. He asks how Muku was tricked into leaving their school. Feng is clueless. Jung's anger isn't just about losing a student, but about Muku being a highly skilled student after training camp. She's taken her away, and this will impact the admission rate. There are only 4 spots in the entire province. Feng's school already had 2. And now Muku's school magically has another argument going on. Just then, Assistant Liu knocks. A guest has arrived. Feng ignores. But as soon as he hears the name, both Old Fun and Fun freeze. Why such a big man at their school? Old Fun introduces his grandson Fun Rui and requests that he transfer here. Feng and Zhang stunt. Rui is in the top 15 on the national supernova list, and at full power, he could even break into the top 5. Why? A student of such caliber comes to this unknown school, and supernova students automatically earn training camp spots. This means Feng School has taken another slot for free. But Old Fun's work isn't finished yet. His bureau also has 2 extra spots and wants them given to students from Feng's school. Now Zhang is questioning reality. Feng smoothly dismisses him, and Liu escorts him out. Old Fun explains that the 2 spots are for the MC, but Feng hesitates. The MC, for now, powers on. Awaken. Old Fun bluntly says, "Don't question it, just do it." And because his bureau oversees both the independent adventurers and the 7 great guilds, Feng doesn't try to be too smart. In the classroom, the MC group is growing like an elite club. Muku, Rui, Shangshu, Yue, and Ting all surround him. The school contacted Chong, and he gave up his spot, giving Ting the opportunity. Shangshu also secured a spot and is thrilled to meet Rui. But Muku isn't happy. The sudden arrival of so many new people has increased the competition. She's brought a gift for the MC. She just needs the right timing. The other students watch the scene, clueless, as if some secret society is forming. But the MC has a big question. Why isn't anyone concerned about Chong's disappearance? The assistant at the Zhao family suggests filing a missing person report. But Chong's father is already investigating through a powerful contact. The school has been given the excuse of extra training. The principal was disappointed because one camp participant was missing, but didn't ask too many questions. Chong's father, after giving instructions, he goes upstairs to a hidden chamber. At school, Rui excitedly shows a skill book. MC is surprised to see the rare profession's quality like water summon spell. Not to be left behind, Muku also gifts him a battle mage skill book. Problem: MC cannot use it right now. He went to Secret Realm to level up before school started, but he needed a team. So the whole trip was wasted, but rare loot cannot be rejected. MC accepts the books and in return gives him high-tier experience portions. Rui and Muku and Yu realize what they found and instantly decide to stick by MC. Then Yu also gives a gift. Technically, a new portion of Shure. Later, MC returns home, where Dwan is already tired. Serious training was promised, but details were zero. MC gives him a portion of the Viz. Dan, a nourishing liquid that heals old injuries, drinks it and feels better than before. Then the training begins. MC notices as soon as she sees him that his lung injury is still in the recovery phase. So avoid heavy strain on any move, and his skill combos are a complete mess. Dan is both impressed and a little uneasy that MC can detect his flaws so easily. Then comes the real challenge: special training. He pushes himself to the limit because disappointing MC feels like death. Wave after wave of monsters come, and he barely gets a chance to breathe. When he finally finishes, he asks for a tougher challenge. But Lane tells him that all the monster data has been used up. Dwan collapses in exhaustion, joy and relief in his eyes, almost tears. Old Feng, who was watching from the beginning, is stunted and a little shaken. The way the mysterious hero has pushed an experienced adventurer like Dwan to this state is nothing short of insane. Now, more than ever, he wants to be on the man's good side. His excitement grows again. But before he gets carried away, Lan raises the issue of the high cost of dark power. Old Fun considers it for a while but stops short. The priority right now is to get Dan to the trial realm. Old Fun and Dan Azer Guild. They arrive, where Young Jen and the other 7 guild leaders are already present. Dan knows how big these people are because his master has never been able to gather them together. But divine manifestation has brought them all together. Among them is Shu, whose mind is elsewhere. He's deeply troubled because Old Fun isn't giving up any useful information while the other shameless leaders are exchanging favors with his secret realm. At the realm's entrance, Shu asks Dwan if he can livestream the entire run, and Dwan readily agrees. He does. The phone is set up, and the 7 leaders try to enter the frame, subtle or not at all. All because the mysterious hero is watching on the other side. They want to impress him, and at the same time, they're afraid to touch his dark side. At Dwayne's villa, our hero watches TV and sees that the stream is actually live. In reality, the leaders watch silently as Dwayne clears the 30th, 40th, and 50th floors like nothing. Then he takes down the final monster, passes the trial, and obtains the divine forbidden curse. He takes it. This is the first clear reward, which means no one else can ever get it. Yashu is unhappy. This is his realm, and he should have received the best loot. Before he can say anything, the system tells him that Dwan's profession isn't suitable for learning the forbidden curse. So such a powerful reward is useless for him. Dwan's reward is transformed into a divine emblem, and due to his profession's strength system, his patent deity becomes a holy spirit, one of the 12 gods. The system grants him 3 paths: Martial Spirit Sword, Master, Martial Extreme Battle Saint, and Martial Arts Immortal Soldier. Because Dwan uses the short sword, he chooses Martial Spirit Sword Master. Upon making his choice, the divine emblem begins to absorb into his body. It contains pure divine energy and the fundamental laws of the universe. As its power is absorbed, a bright light rises into the sky. The mission Divine Trial is completed, and the world level is raised. Notifications fill the sky, and people begin to record it. Young Zhen and Old Feng report from Surrounded. As soon as he leaves Realm, Young Jane tries to recruit him. Then, other leaders make offers as well. Dua rejects all offers and returns home to meet our hero. MC shows him a drawing of the divine emblem, as the phone screen didn't capture all the details. It turns out that MC had previously obtained the same emblem and given it to UA. He thinks that MC gave away such a valuable thing without thinking, which makes him feel that his efforts were still insufficient. MC wonders if he has divine power. Finding the emblem in the secret rail is understandable, but now he has to worry about 12 divine-level threats. Dan explains that all 7 guilds are now searching the trial secret rails to obtain the divine emblem. The MC isn't too worried as long as he can control who clears the trial. The power will be his. But the problem is that if an enemy clears the trial, it will prove disastrous. The real danger is that clearing the realm could unlock forbidden spells and draw the attention of the gods. Now he has to ensure that only his own people clear the trial. Dan mentions Shu's contract, which required rewards to be distributed because Dan has absorbed the divine emblem. He gives away the remaining loot. Shu is furious on the inside, but outwardly he accepts the rewards. Among the rewards, he receives the formula for the forgotten portion, which can erase designated skills and reset skill slots. This is a huge deal due to the scarcity of skill slots. Shu plans to monopolize this portion, just like he did with the experience portion, and take the guild to the top. But the problem is if Duan spills the beans, it's all over. So, Shu demands silence under the contract and offers compensation. Before he can finish, Duan reveals that the mysterious hero already has this portion. Shu refuses, as trial rewards are unique. Duan then reveals that the same mysterious hero created the experience portion. The leaders are stunned, as this means some unknown figure knows the secrets of the trial rails. Old Fun laughs quietly at the situation. Young demands an explanation, but he doesn't. He knows that the potions MC gave to Rui and Muku were worthless, while others consider them priceless. Old Fun is happy that Rui joined his school. As he leaves, he explains his body's problems, corrupted by dark magic and slowly falling apart. He asks if the mysterious hero has any potions. Duan says he'll ask. Back home, Duan tells MC about the request and apologizes for his decision. MC isn't upset. He also wants to help Old Fun. The only problem is that he's unsure if the nourishing potion will work. MC tasks Dan with finding time to deliver some bottles to Old Fun for testing. Dan goes straight to Old Fun's office, only to find Lan there, who tells him Old Fun has left for an important meeting at the bureau. So Dan gives the potions to Lan, trusting her to do the job. Lan then goes to Rua's house. She rings the doorbell but gets no response. She assumes Rui isn't home and decides to come back later, but things are getting tense inside. Rui is trapped. A dark force surrounds him, repeatedly tempting him to accept power because it's apparently the only way to save his grandfather. But Rui refuses to succumb to this demonic persuasion. Unfortunately, the darkness targets his biggest weak point, his grandfather's death. In the schoolyard, our hero sees Rui, who looks like he's straight out of a horror movie. He suggests playing a game to lift his mood. Rui refuses because his grandfather won't let him play games at school, so our boy says, "We'll play together sometime." Rui nostalgically explains that his parents were killed on a mission, and he was locked in a room. Old Feng wasn't an emotional person. Still, he learned the game to connect with Rui. Rui never forgot him. Old Feng is in a meeting, and the news isn't good. The meeting is about 2 men, Pongo and Guyang. Papingwa, a skilled fighter with 3 or 4 stars, was jailed 8 years ago for rampaging in the secret rail. He was supposed to be released in 15 years, but he mysteriously disappeared a few years ago. Young was no better. A monitored mutant who disappeared 5 years ago. Now, the 2 returned to Pinghua's hometown and killed 2 adventurers and their families. The victims were the same people who had captured Pinghua years earlier. Strangely, they were stronger than him. Yet, they offered almost no resistance in the fight. An official asks why they just stood there watching their families die. The footage is shown, and the scene becomes horrifying. The victim tries to fight but is killed in seconds. Reports said that Pong Ho and Gyung were so. It's not strong, but the footage shows something else. Both have returned stronger than before, and perhaps even stronger than Old Feng. which would blow anyone's mind. Xiao is waiting for them at home. As soon as they arrive, he asks about his son. Ping Haha says he found nothing, but he felt a very strong dark force. He explains that low-level favored ones can't wield dark power on their own. They need the Demon Lord's blessing, like the man who died in Chinyu City. But true favored ones are summoned by the Demon Lord. In the secret rail, they are sent to cultivate in isolation. Pinha believes Chong may have been chosen by the Demon Lord. Xiao was already suspicious because Chong was performing rituals. Checking the secret room reveals the ritual emitter was not perfect. If Chong continues his sacrifices, his talent could attract the Demon Lord's attention. Zhao is excited. If Chong succeeds, the Wong group will have to leave the city. Ping Ho gives Zhao an address where to send a car after dinner. Peng Ho and Gu Yang then arrive at Rui's apartment. Rui doesn't recognize them, but their presence threatens them. He senses it. Ping Ho speaks as if Rui should welcome them. He explains that they have come on behalf of their master, the same dark entity that disturbed Rui last night. Rui wastes no time summoning armor, but Pinha catches him in an instant. His job is to make Rui accept the dark power. Gaiyang returns after reconnaissance and finds that Old Fun is not home. Pinha considers going to meet the old man, but Rui flatly refuses. In the end, Pinha releases Rui, giving him a 3-day ultimatum to decide or else Old Fun will be killed. Fing won't be safe. Meanwhile, our boy is beating monsters in the wild tribe. He can't find a good leveling spot, so he's grinding combat experience at ordinary secret rails. The system tells him to explore nearby rails. Just then, the phone rings. Duan explains that Old Fun wants to apprentice under the mysterious hero. Later, the MC comes to check on Rui at the hospital. Rui says he's fine, but his dark power is causing problems, so he has to stay in the specialized ward. Our hero is impressed. It happens. Outside, Old Fangdin is discussing Peng Ho and Gu Yang. He's decided to call for backup. The mysterious hero agrees, but with conditions. This isn't a formal apprenticeship, just an excuse for training so villains don't roam free. He wants a private training space with simple size and facilities. Old Fang readily agrees. Just then, a noise comes from Rui's room. They rush inside and find Pinga and Gu Yang standing there. They say they've come to apologize for the injury and have brought a fruit basket. Old Fang, he's furious. Pongher asks if he's really planning on fighting, but Old Fun doesn't answer. They both start to leave, but Rui reminds him that he only has 2 days. As he leaves, Young spits on Duan's chest and leaves. Old Fun apologizes to Duan, while our boy is interested in the fruit basket. Later that night, Pongha and Guyang are having drinks when the topic turns to Yue, who suggests that Ponghu take her name. Before Ponghu can respond, an explosion occurs and Rui and Duan enter. He says, everyone except Pongha and Gyung leave. Ping Ho sips wine, as if this is just another boring interruption. As Gyung lunges at Duan with his weapon, Duan blocks it and immediately realizes that Young's strength is no joke. If it weren't for our boy's harsh training, Duan would be a corpse by now, and yet here he is, standing tall and blocking every blow with courage. Young realizes Duan is keeping him busy so that the MC can get the perfect chance. But before he can grasp the situation, he hears a light crunching sound. A sound is heard. When he looks up, our hero is completely chill, eating chips and watching their fight as if it's a random TV show, simply enjoying the entertainment. This scene makes Gu Yong's blood boil. Duan lands a powerful punch and draws Young's attention back to him. Young staggers back, but immediately transforms into a furious state and attacks. Their weapons clash violently. Sparks fly. Tension rises. The same girls who were laughing earlier now freeze like frozen statues. She's gone. At that moment, Punga walks towards the MC, giving off a very dangerous vibe. But our boy is still acting cool, munching dried seeds. Peng Ho swings his huge sword and attacks the MC, which our hero easily blocks. So Peng Ho transforms to scare him. But the shock comes when MC Kamali upgrades his sword for a precise strike. Only then does he realize that this guy is no stranger, but serious trouble. Before he can react, the ground explodes and a massive thorn shoots from beneath him. He barely dodges. Then another attack forces him to defend. His instincts scream that this guy isn't playing. Swords clash. But just in time, Peng Ho notices that our guy isn't just surviving, but getting stronger by the second. Then he senses that trying to kill this guy might be life's worst mistake, so he suggests they sit down and talk. But the MC clearly states that if anyone dies, it will be Ping Hai, not even A. A speck of dust will touch him. That confidence ignites a fire within Ping He. He angrily warns us not to think too highly of ourselves, for in his master's eyes, we are merely insects. Our boy asks, "Who is this all-powerful master?" Filled with pride, Pengu begins boasting about the mighty demon lord who kills the lords of the secret rails and collects their relics as trophies. MC's face darkens. Now he needs to know this man's name. Outside, Lon and the others who are in the company building. Standing below, she tells the crowd about the chaos upstairs. Penghu and Guyang are using their hands freely. Old Feng uses magic to observe the situation upstairs, and the scene turns out to be truly kinetic. Ping Ho is struggling against a massive man who is none other than our boy. He's easily controlling Ping Ha using his abilities, but Penghu, fed up, reveals his true form and swallows the MC whole. Meanwhile, Duan and Guyang are trying to kill each other. Young mocks, "You," not worried about his boss. Duan calmly says that he is not even worthy of worrying about his boss. Then, without wasting any time, he plunges the blade into Young's chest. Xiao is extremely excited by all this and is impressed by Ping's overwhelming power. But the girls sitting next to him are huddled under the sofa and probably regretting every decision of their life. But their hiding is in vain when Peng Hijiao notices him and cuts him in two with a single strike. Ping Ha is not finished yet and wants more. Then he senses Old Feng's magic. Enraged, he breaks it, but his celebration is short-lived when his body explodes in a violent explosion, and our hero emerges from the debris, unharmed. Guang turns his attention to Penghu, and Duan, seeing the opportunity, stabs him point blank. The girls don't need commands. They run for their lives. But our boy still won't let Young die. He has questions. Meanwhile, in a secret valley, a subordinate panics and confronts the Demon Lord. He reports an intruder. The Demon Lord calmly orders everyone to retreat. He knows the enemy has come for him. His minions are loyal but useless. He needs something better. Humans who can fuel his power with sacrifice. He picks up one of the skulls adorned on his body and wears it, as if celebrating his past victories. He wasn't always powerful. Once, he was an ordinary demon. Then he received the relics of a high demon lord, which changed his fortunes. Power surged, strategies became clear, enemies became wiser. He was about to repeat the same thing again. But fate had different plans. The sky rumbled, lightning struck, and he was roasted on the spot. Meanwhile, our MC, having released the thunderstorm spell, is walking through the fog, complaining about the monster's lair. At that very moment, he receives a system notification about the discovery of the forbidden dark spell. He follows the directions and reaches the Demon Lord's crispy body. In his hand is a relic pulsing with dark energy. The MC absorbs it, and his level shoots above 40. The attributes are fully maxed out. Then he receives a skill book, Summoning Dark Gate, a forbidden spell. It can either summon an army of dark creatures for half a day or a permanent high-ranking demon lord. It's a good deal, so our boy decides to try it. Meanwhile, Duan updates Old Feng on the situation involving Peng and Guyang, which he handled quite smoothly. Old Fun is pleased, while Lan is relieved that the authorities trust Old Fun. Otherwise, Ping Hai and Gung, they would have destroyed the entire city. Old Feng provides documents detailing the training facility offered by the government itself. massive size, top-tier facilities, privacy, and zero interruptions. Duan says our hero will choose his own kingdom. Upon arriving at the base, our boy is delighted by its vastness. Duan explains that the base has training areas, offices, laser spaces, and accommodation for 2,000 people. Later, the paperwork is finalized. Duan makes it clear that he and the MC will handle the management, as the hero has the administrative responsibility. No time for nonsense. Old Fun suggests forming a guild, but Duan questions whether there's a less bureaucratic way to obtain intelligence. Old Fun suggests the Bureau's Special Information Channel, which provides useful information. MC finds it convenient, but also plans to create his own network. The guild idea is rejected. Too much paperwork. It's better to run the base his own way. After the signatures, they leave the office. On the way, Duan informs them that special training will begin next week. Just then, Old Feng gets a call about mysterious disappearances. Same case as Ponghar and Guyang. Later, Old Feng comes home and finds Rui packing. Rui explains that he's leaving for special training in 2 days, which our boy personally arranged. A total of 5 people are going. Old Feng gets so excited that his head starts sparking again. Roy panics, but the old man says that the hero potion has cured him. Then he helps him pack and goes full dad mode, lectures him on proper manners, listening to the MC, and not wasting this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.